Welcome to question 2 of the 2018 Mathematical Methods Exam 1 for the Southern Hemisphere. In this video, we will be looking at the solution and examination advice for this question. A reminder that this video is in no way endorsed by VCAA. For question 2, we have the derivative with respect to x of the function f with a domain of 1 to infinity has the rule f dashed of x equals a half minus 1 divided by 2 x subtract 2. Given that f of 2 equals 0, find f of x in terms of x. So if we want to find f of x, given that we know its derivative, we can integrate. So we're going to integrate a half minus 1 on 2x subtract 2 with respect to x. And that can be evaluated as the integral of a half dx minus a half times the integral of 1 on x subtract 1 dx. So therefore the function f of x is going to equal, and integrating a half with respect to x is going to give x on 2, and then we have minus a half, and then the integral of 1 over x subtract 1 is log e of x subtract 1, and then we get plus c, a constant of integration. So next we need to use the information that the function when x is 2 is equal to 0. So therefore we have the function when x is 2 is going to be 2 divided by 2 minus a half log e of 2 subtract 1 plus c, and we know that that is equal to 0. And now log e of 2 subtract 1 is log e of 1, and that is simply equal to 0. So therefore we have 2 over 2 is 1 plus c is equal to 0. So therefore c must equal negative 1. So therefore the rule for f of x must equal x on 2 minus a half log e of x subtract 1 plus c, but c was minus 1. So that is the rule for f of x for this question. So we can see from the examiner's report that only 30% of students got this fully correct, with 35% of students getting 2 marks out of 3. Overall, the question was well attempted. However, a common misconception was that the integral of 1 divided by 2x minus 2 is equal to log e of 2x minus 2. And that was incorrect. You needed to have the half out the front. Some students found a value of c, but did not substitute it back into the final answer to state the rule of f of x overall. Some poor notation was also observed. For example, 1 divided by 2x is not the same as x on 2, which commonly appeared. And the notation for the natural logarithm was also poor. It needs to be written as log e, where the e is a subscript, not just log with e written at the end of it. And now some of you may have noticed that the rule that f of x is quoted as in this examiner's report looks a little bit different to the one that I gave on the previous slide. But we can show that they are the same thing, they just went about it a slightly different way to me. So this rule of f of x that they have written down can in fact be written as x on 2, which is the same as what we got, minus a half, and then we could have in brackets log e of what they have, 2x subtract 2, and then this a half log e of 2 could be written as minus log e of 2 inside that bracket, so that is the same as what they have written, with the subtract 1 out to the right hand side, and that will be equal to x on 2 minus a half. And if you have two logs and you subtract them and they have the same base, you can divide the two arguments. So this would become log e of 2x minus 2 all divided by 2 is just x subtract 1, and then we have minus 1. And this answer was equal to the one we had on the other slide. And this is something you'll commonly come across when you're dealing with logs, in that you may have slightly different looking answers that are equivalent based on the log laws and properties that we know apply when there's the same base occurring.